Photoshop 2 is about revisiting everything that you've learned in Photoshop 1 and then some, and pushing yourself to make better stuff. So, I'm all about telling visual stories. And that goes in my video, in my motion, that goes in my designs that I create. I think there's a narrative, there's a story. So we go through a lot of creative compositing. We work on skill building exercises. So if that's about restoration, color correction, you're gonna be exercising those skills through in-class exercises and tutorials each week. But in addition, you have major projects on top of those that are geared towards portfolio. So lots of cool stuff to look at in Photoshop 2. Trash Polka is a fun one I like to bring in. It's about understanding not only how to design for a client, how to design with restrictions. So we play a little game, and it's like a body part's assigned, a mood's assigned, and then you're restricted to a certain color palette. You have to mind map basically a design concept and come up with a tattoo, and then you are bound to the body part. So you have to design for that body part, and then you feature your work on a cover of a magazine, which I think is super important to kind of readdress layout and design, and then how does your work travel. So I'm doing a lot more with photo, illustration, GIF animations, concept art, abstract, mixed digital media, because it's not just about print, it's also about putting these pieces out into the online world. And then adding more interest visually to these elements. So I love bringing in, this is a really fun portrait illustration, which is, Mary here just did a wonderful job illustrating her own little character elements, but the photography was her own. And we're incorporating all these ideas about color and just a lot of very interesting things. Instagram campaign is another project that I do. So I was super lucky to have Alex in my class because she's a very great illustrator. But we went through and understanding the process of frame animation and how you can manipulate effects frame by frame. And that's how we're getting these cool neon effects here in the illustrations that she's creating in Photoshop. So there is an Instagram campaign that you will be creating and completing. You also learn how to compress and convert for different applications. So even though we'll be exporting, you're learning how to manage those assets prior to bringing them in order to be able to function within the program limitations, and then outputting to GIF, and then understanding how to optimize for web, and also how to convert from GIF back to MP4. So there's a lot that goes into the mixed media. I always like to introduce new features and effects and things that are coming into the program. This year, the neural filters were introduced, the sky replacement tool. The background removal tool was just added into a discovery panel. So we just like to cover things like that. We do mock-ups, so trying to take our designs and applying them into a better, more visually representation of our style and who we are as designers to make it look more professional for our portfolios.